Welcome to our Friday shout out. This is Lenka Wallace, and today I have a special treat for you. This woman is absolutely amazing, and the way I met her is really, really cool because there's something I work on right now, huge, huge project, and she was one of the first people to volunteer for it, and she was all in, and she was all excited. So I want you all to meet the beautiful, the one and only Carmela Ramaglia. There she goes.
Yay!
Yourself, my dear. Welcome to Friday Shout Out.
Thank you. Thank you. It's very fun, very generous. It's amazing how small the world can be through social media and Facebook and everything. And you get to meet people you never would have met otherwise. So this is really fun.
Yes, yes. So tell us a little bit about your business because happy calories don't count, right? And
No, they don't.
absolutely love your message. Your website is spotless as well. It's gorgeous. So I had really a lot
Thank
of
you.
fun reading through it, scrolling, getting to know you a little bit better, and the message that you are sharing with women in this world and possibly men too, right? For everybody.
Yeah. Mostly women, a few good men, but mostly women. Yeah. Basically, what I teach women how to do, and a few good men, is how to ditch all of that diet drama and find peace and freedom around food and their bodies so they can reclaim that extra bandwidth. You know, if you have body or weight drama or food drama, you don't, sometimes you know how much of that bandwidth it takes up in your life, but there's always that little bit of monkey on your back and always that little bit of anxiety going on about what you're going to eat or what you're going to wear or how you look or whatever. And when we transform all of that, you get all of that bandwidth back. And then you have all this energy to really dive in and create the life that you've always wanted. So whether that is, you know, your family and you want to devote more time for your family, or you really rock your career or start a new hobby or whatever it is, you have the time, energy, both spiritually and mentally and emotionally, all of that stuff, to really engage in your life and live to the fullest. So I teach people how to create a body and a life they love, because a lot of people think it's either or. Either you're going to look good because you're starving yourself and you're at the gym all the time and you hate your life, or you've decided to say, I don't care, you know, I give up, I just want to be happy. And then you feel like you don't look your best. You feel like there's something wrong with you. And I've got we only have a few minutes. Like, if you get me talking on this subject, I will just like talk forever. So there's a reason you feel that way. And so then I help heal and transform that and teach you how to heal your relationships with food and your body so that you can look good too. You can have a life and have fun and have freedom and have peace and just be a rock star and still look good. You don't have to give it up. You don't have to be one or the other. So you're talking about my website. I just went through a rebrand. And so now my tagline is have your cake and eat it too.
I
So
saw it and I was gonna say that. I also love that on your website you mentioned that you've been through it all. So could you
oh,
share your story with us? How did it
oh yeah. So I was a girl who went on a diet, a teenage girl who went on a diet. And I don't know, you know, eating disorders are big, ugly, complicated messes. And so that's my street cred. But you don't have to have been diagnosed with having an eating disorder to experience this kind of pain and shame. You know, labels are labels. But I went on this diet, and somewhere along the line, you know, I don't know if it's like a family of origin dynamic or my little weird personality quirk, you know, type A overachiever thing. But I ended up in the hospital for anorexia at 80 pounds. So I spent almost my entire senior year of high school in the hospital. I almost didn't graduate. And I'd been in the hospital 4 more times by the time I was 25. So by the time I was 25, I'd been in treatment for anorexia 5 times. By the time I was 30, I was 200 pounds and suicidal. And I couldn't keep living the way I was living. And it was really frustrating because I'd spent my entire life, not getting fat. Like, do whatever you can do to not get fat. That's the worst thing in the whole world that you could do, is to get fat. So it's the diets and the exercise programs and whatever. And that didn't work. I still ended up gaining weight. And in my late 20s, I kind of had a meltdown, had a little nervous breakdown. And I started binge eating for the first time in my life because, hey, the starving wasn't working. So for 3 months, I went on this food binge, gained a ton of weight, and then I couldn't lose it, because how are you going to lose the weight? Well, you do the diet and exercise program, but that's what got me into the situation in the first place. And I just mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like physically, I was just done. I was done. But fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your point of view, I've already had someone in my family commit suicide, and I saw what that did to my mom, and I could not do that to my mom. So I had to figure it out. I had to figure out a different way to live because I couldn't keep living the way I was living, but I couldn't not live. So I had to figure out a different way to do that. And in the first time in my life, I quit looking at food in terms of an effect it was going to have on my body. It was just like, I just ate. If I saw something and I liked it and I felt like eating it, I just ate it. And I didn't care. I'm already fat. What are you going to do to me, right? And the same thing with exercise. I quit going to the gym because I didn't like being on the treadmill, and all those mirrors, they just kind of reminded me of how fat I was and how I didn't like myself and all of that. So I quit going to the gym and turn around one day and I'm 50 pounds lighter. And I had no idea that I was losing weight or anything like that because I was still wearing those stretchy clothes that kind of grow and shrink with you. So my clothes weren't telling me that I was losing weight. And when I looked in the mirror, I still saw the same fat me, so I didn't know. And it was just because I went to a doctor's appointment, they weighed me, that I knew that I'd lost the weight. And then so just so that you have an idea of who you're dealing with. So this is my bright idea. I think, wow, if I can lose 50 pounds eating pizza and ice cream, think how much weight I can lose if I really try, So then I actively started dieting and exercising again, and then I would gain weight. And so I went through like the several years where every time I went on a diet or exercise program, I'd gain weight. And because, I'd lose the weight, but I wasn't really the size I wanted to be. And so how do you get to the size you want to be? Well, you diet and you exercise. And so I do that and I gain weight. And finally, I just gave up. And I'd figured it out, that it was just easier to be where I was and just be okay with being where I was and being happy than to do the work of a diet and exercise program. And then people, I don't really know what it was, but people started to see me differently. And I don't know if I was losing weight and I didn't know it and they were asking me about it, or if I had an inner glow or something, or all of a sudden, I don't know what changed, but people started asking me like, what was I doing? What was I doing to look so good? And so I just kind of reverse engineered everything that I was doing. And that's what I created my program based on. And what's interesting is that I've been doing this for 10 years. And the more I teach it, the better I look. So it's like, if I try to do a diet and exercise program, I will gain weight. I will be miserable. It will be awful. If I do what I teach my clients to do, then I look better and better and better and better. So it's like, it's self-interest, it's self-preservation at this point.
That is so amazing, so incredible to me. So
Yeah.
almost like, how God puts stuff in front of us,
Mm-hmm.
to figure out, like,
Exactly.
to have us like go through
Exactly.
it, to experience, so that we can then share it with others and impact others with that. So it feels like that's one of those situations where you had to struggle to find your message, to find your calling, and then go ahead and make a huge difference for many people. So what are you looking, or how is your business doing right now? What are you looking in terms of growth, connecting with people?
Yeah. So right now my business is, I would say 90% online, and I love it because here in Seattle, I don't know where you're living, but here in Seattle, traffic is awful. We've got Google, we've got Amazon, we've got Starbucks, we've got Microsoft, we've got all the big tech companies, and traffic is just awful. So I love that I can connect with people from my back bedroom, and also people from all over the world. What I have been astonished by is the outpouring of support and gratitude and just like, oh my God, I need you, from all over the world. I've got clients in Germany, in Australia, you know, in the UK, down in Brazil. It's crazy. Like, who knew? But anyway, so I'm mostly online, and what I do is I have this course. It's 10 modules that you go through that teaches you the principles of happy calories don't count. And you don't need to do it in 10 weeks. Like, it's self-pay to do it. You just can't do it faster than 10 weeks because transformation takes time.
Mhm.
Right. And I've noticed this before, because like I'll go to a speaking, I'll be on a stage and do a speaking event, and I'll teach people everything. I'll give them everything that's in my program. It's like I do it all. I just don't hold anything back. And people are like, oh my God, that's so amazing. And then a week later, they're completely lost, you know, because it's like they can't process it, or they can't really take root. So I've designed it so you can't do it faster than 10 weeks, but you don't need to feel like you need to get it done in 10 weeks. It's in lifetime. You always have access. And then in addition to that, there's weekly group calls for support. So, you know, I'm trying to build this community, and I don't actively market it like I see a lot of people doing other businesses so aggressively on Facebook. Mine's more of an invitation, because I think you need to have been around the block a few times. I think you need to have a certain level of pain. I think you need to have a certain level of frustration with the effort that you've put in with the results that you've gotten. I feel like you have to have come to a point of understanding that maybe there's a different way. You know, you've done enough diets and exercise programs, and they haven't sustained the results that you've wanted, or if you've gotten results, the results aren't as much as they should be given the amount of work you've put in. You don't look as good as you should look for the amount of work that you're putting in, you know, kind of thing. And, you know, people that have wandered down the path of personal growth and spirituality, you know, just looking for something more. So I don't go out there and say, you know, like, hey, Beachbody boot camp, you know, or what, which is funny because I'm actually offering a booty camp in a couple of weeks. Through Facebook. I put this call out and I said, okay, hey peeps, you know, I want to do a training on Facebook Live. I can't call it a Happy Calories Don't Count boot camp. What should I call it? And people were like, oh, summit, intensive training, whatever. And then it was like, booty camp, call it a booty camp. And I had all these people. So I'm like, okay, we're doing a booty camp.
Right, because who doesn't want booty, right?
Right. But so it's more of, I like to think of it as that I'm attracting people to me that resonate with my message, rather than going out there and trying to make false promises and crazy claims and all that kind of stuff. So another tagline that I have is that I get the no diet, because I'm not going to put you on a diet. No diet, no drama, no BS way, you know, because a lot of people will say, oh, well, there's no diet, but you know, you can only eat certain things, or you have to say magic mantras, or, you know, somebody's got some shtick. So essentially what I do is it's personal transformation. And a lot of us have done personal development work, and we've been very successful at taking those principles and becoming successful entrepreneurs, or becoming successful in our relationships, or becoming successful financially. You know, it's like we take these personal development skills and tools, and we've created massive success in other areas of our lives, but we're just stuck when it comes to our bodies and our weight. That's what I help you do. I take all of that stuff and then apply, I change the underlying paradigm. So I do lots of complicated things that I explain it all in a webinar that I have. I have a free webinar on my website if you want to check that out. I have so much to talk about. It's like you can't contain me.
So tell us two more things. First one is one fun fact about you that people can remember you by.
Oh, a fun fact. Okay. I'm an actress. I'm pretty much a nobody, because I'm not in Hollywood, but I do have an IMDb page if you go look at that. And there is this game, there's this actor game like 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, because Kevin Bacon's been in so many movies that you can connect any actor to any other actor through Kevin Bacon somehow within 6 films. Because of a simple little movie that I did, I am within 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon of nearly every major player in Hollywood. So that's a
Sounds
fun fact.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So we have celebrity here. Where can we
Yes.
find you? How can we connect with you? Where can we find you if someone's interested in the webinar or purchasing your course and getting your coaching? Where can they go?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I have my website built at carmelaramaglia.com, which is just my name,
Mhm.
but people have a really hard time spelling my name. So you can also find the same website at happycalories.com. So carmelaramaglia.com or happycalories.com. That's where you'll find my website with links to the webinar, links to the Facebook group. Facebook, just Google Happy Calories Don't Count, Happy Calories, my name. I'm all over the internet because that's where I live.
Yeah, and we found each other on Facebook.
Yeah, we found each other on
People
Facebook.
find you there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll post all those links under this video, and people
Okay,
can
great.
easily and go and talk to you. I'm
Yeah,
excited for you. What you're
thank you so
doing, what
much.
you're creating is so important. And
Yeah,
thank you for being this bright and beautiful soul that you are and sharing with us your background, who you are, your story, your fun fact. Now we know so
yeah, I know. Well, thank you so very, very much. It's such a
much.
pleasure to meet you in person, or in virtual space and connect that way. So yay. Love the internet.
Pleasure is all mine, and I wish you good evening in Seattle. We are in LA, so we are not that far behind you.
All right, awesome. Yay.
Have a good one, love.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
too. Bye.